Hi everybody, this is the baseball head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, and welcome back to the baseball head. Hopefully you like this video, and of course hit that subscribe button. I did a video yesterday on Alex Bregman that did unbelievably well, and I'm recording this, around 9 o'clock here at the hut. I wanted to post this in the, on Friday for you, because I don't want to disrupt that other video, but, so, Alex Bregman posted a post on X, not tweet anymore, saying that wants to wish everyone a happy holiday, and of course, 2025 is going to be amazing, which got a lot of people excited. I was excited doing the video. I'm glad you liked it so much. But there were other videos that got posted on YouTube talking about Pete Alonso and, of course, Jose Iglesias, saying that the Mets were in negotiations with both of them. And there was also talks that the Mets were getting close to signing Pete, that they were that there was a 3-year contract worth $90 million. That can't be further from the truth. And I said that on my last video that they weren't close, that the money was so absurd. Why wouldn't the Mets or any team want to completely destroy the first base market by giving Pete Alonso $30 million a year, when he's not the best first baseman in baseball, when he's behind guys like Paul Goldschmidt, who's a great player, but not so much anymore, but guys like Freddie Freeman and Matt Olson, who got contracts under that. And I also would mention this. If Vladimir Guerrero Jr. thinks he's going to get a big contract next year, he's sadly mistaken too. It doesn't matter how old he is. He's the same size as Pete Alonso, but for some reason he looks a hell of a lot bigger. A little bit more husky than Pete does. But I had said that the Mets, I felt all along that the Mets were probably going to sign Pete. I think they're going to re-sign him at some point. But the point is that is not the case. The Mets are not close to signing Pete. According to Jon Heyman of the New York Post, there is a sizable gap in terms of the money between the two sides. The two sides are not close. Pete wants to make $200 million. That's been the rumor. The Mets are not going to do that. They didn't offer him $200 million last year. I would mention this, of course, and I've said this a few times. Pete Alonso should not make the same mistake that his former teammate, Michael Conforto, did, listening to Scott Boras, and basically destroyed his free agency listening to him. For the 2021 season, the Mets offered Michael a contract for 5 years, $100 million. He turned it down. And that basically has wrecked his career in terms of money over the last few years. And he took a $12 million contract from the Dodgers this year. Disaster. You talk about disaster. Don't listen to Boras, man. You're going to be waiting a long time to get a contract, and you don't want to get hurt during this period like Michael did when he got hurt in 2022, just practicing on some backfield. We didn't even know how he got hurt. We haven't heard anything from Michael. I haven't heard a thing about his injury, how that happened. But anyway, so there's a gap there between the Mets and Pete. And of course, how long are the Mets going to wait this guy out? Or how much are they going to have to wait for him to decide what he wants to do? Met fans want him back. Your host wants him back. But it's getting, the year is almost over, and we're going to be getting very close to opening of spring training, which is 6 weeks into the new year. So basically, got 7 weeks until spring training. So we're getting awfully close now to pitchers and catchers, and he is not signed yet. Okay, other teams and other players, I don't care about. Okay, we saw what happened with these players that didn't sign right away, and they signed in March, and and as the season was beginning. And they all play terribly. Jordan Montgomery's, and of course, all these guys are Scott Boras guys. Jordan Montgomery destroyed his season last year. Blake Snell took him months to get ready. JD Martinez was good, excuse me, when he was hurt in the beginning. And then his season fizzled out. And this is crazy. Pete signed with the Mets. Now, your host, I do a lot of videos here. I don't do videos for clickbait. People say I do. I do not do that, okay? But I do very creative titles for these videos. I got to get people in here because I'm not associated with anybody. I have to do my best to bring people in here. But I try to give you as much accuracy to what's going on. I also want to inform you, if you don't know, I'm the original Mets YouTuber. Okay, I've been doing Mets videos on the Mets since 2018, consistently. Even though this channel is only about 4 years old, a little over 4 years old now, I've been doing videos on this platform since 2018. So I breathe this stuff, I eat this stuff. This is in my blood. So if I tell you what I believe, what's going on behind the scenes, you take that to the bank. I read everything I could possibly find on the internet that I could possibly get on the Mets. And it doesn't matter what the player is or what it is. I'll give you my best opinion on what's going on. Other YouTube channels, all they want to do is they file unsubstantiated reports telling you what's going on. I do not do that, okay? I don't do that. Now, will I tell you about a trade that I come up with, a possible trade from my own mind and my own brain and just a sense of things? I'll tell you, no problem. And I'll let it be known. But I don't go and tell you that I'm not sure about something if it's unsubstantiated. I know this nonsense started with Pete Alonso and Jose Iglesias, by the way. It came from some unknown Spanish reporter posting stuff about Jose Iglesias, that he's in the middle. First of all, Jose Iglesias is not a priority. Okay? I know people like him. I like him a lot. He's a good singer. He played really well until the very end. But he's not a priority. Okay? You can get plenty of guys that can do what he does. But he's a good guy. Seems like very creative. God bless him. But he is not a priority for this club. And the Mets have a lot of young players that have to play. So he is not a priority. He is a player that you sign in January or February, not in December. So I was when I saw that post a few hours ago, whatever it was, I was like, that's bullshit. Yeah, because he's not a priority. And when YouTubers say that that's a priority, don't believe it. A backup middle infielder is not a priority. Now, I know they signed him early last year. That's a different story. But just didn't have young infielders ready to go. Let's have Luis Angel Acuna. Who would you rather watch play, Acuna or Iglesias? We have Brett Beatty that still needs to see. We can see what we can get out of him. He needs to play. We need to see what happens with Jet Williams. We need to see him play. We still have Jeff McNeil here. Okay, these are all very good players that need to play. Jose Iglesias is not a guy that should hold you up. He's not a priority in any kind of video whatsoever. When we're talking about him, great. He's not. To me, he's not a priority. I'll do a video on him, if I have to. But we could do another prospect or whatever. But for this channel and for what I do here for you, is the big stuff, the most important things. Now, Pete is going to sign with the Mets. If he doesn't sign with the Mets, it's a big mistake on his part. The Mets will move on. I also will say the Mets are going to have a very good shot at Bregman too. And I don't think you sign Bregman and you bring back Pete, it doesn't hurt Mark Vientos, because Mark Vientos, I know that they were talking about putting Vientos at first and putting Beatty and a whole bunch of the young guys at third. You can't do that. You can't do that. I don't believe that they're thinking about doing that. You can't do that. Brett Beatty is not. I'm going to be honest with you folks, and I'll tell you what I think about a player. I don't think he can hit a fastball. All right? He needs to go with a team that there's no pressure on him to find out his swing. Go to the Rays, go to the Athletics, get out of here. Okay? I don't think he can hit a fastball. And I don't like the idea of the Mets trying to win a championship and they got a first baseman who's going to be learning on the job and a third baseman that's a question mark. Mets had a question mark at third base since David Wright retired. I don't want to see that anymore. Now, if the Mets re-sign Pete, you put Vientos at third, and you still use a guy like Iglesias as a defensive. That's also an issue too. Is that late in games, Mendy was putting Iglesias at third as a defensive backup to finish out the game. That's Iglesias' value. Okay. If the Mets get Bregman or they moved Iglesias to first. They moved Vientos to first. He has no value here. And you can always use Acuna at shortstop as a backup. So that's the value of Iglesias. He could play third. I don't know. And also mentioned, before I forget, is Ronnie Mauricio. He has to play too. So that's why I'm not too enamored with bringing back Iglesias, because he holds up all these young players. Now, I try to get you the most accurate information I can get under a different kind of package. I'm not a reporter, okay? I'm just a guy from New York that loves the team, and I have a lot of fun doing this channel. And I think people watch me for a long time, we all have fun here. It's all about fun. First of all, I want to see people have fun when they come and they write to me, and they write to people in the comment section. When you don't do that, it's disruptive. There's no reason to be. This is all fun, this stuff, and I like doing this in a fun way. But I do appreciate the comments all the time. I read them. But be respectful to other people that are writing. That's the big thing I ask. Also, what's great about this channel is I will talk to you, especially when we do the live stream. I'll talk to you. Other channels don't do that. They ignore you. A lot of them ignore you. Okay? And I will not tell you something that I don't believe in. Believe me. A title may get you all irritated, but whatever I say in the video is what I believe in. And I've been pretty accurate about a lot of things. I really still believe the Mets will re-sign Pete, but he's going to take this to the edge. He has no place to go. I don't think the Cubs will sign him. They've done a lot of weird things this offseason. He's not going to the Rangers because they have Jake Berger. Berger. He's going to go there. He's going to play there with John Peter. You won't get this anywhere else, doing a Homer Simpson impression. So I don't expect him to go to the Rangers. I really don't. And I know they traded Nathaniel Lowell to wherever the hell they trade him to. It doesn't matter what the hell they trade. Who cares? They get traded to the Mets. But this is what's different about this channel, and I do appreciate you coming by. And again, there's a sizable gap with Pete and the Mets. I expect that Pete will sign with the Mets. He's not going to get what he wants. Too bad. He's going to get less than what he got last year when they offered him that contract. He can't listen to Scott Boras. He will ruin his career. This is different. It's very similar to Michael Conforto. Michael didn't have a market either. Then we had the lockout on him. But, and I haven't heard anything about Iglesias. All right? Nothing. He's not a priority. Playing these young guys are a priority. Not Iglesias signing him to a contract. Iglesias, prior to being with the Mets, he did not play in 2023. And before that, he was a less than average major league player. According to Baseball Reference's OPS, he was at 98. It's over 100 now. But before last season, this past season, he was an below average offensive player. He's a good defensive player, but his range has been limited because he's getting older. He's going to be 35 years old. Who would you rather play? Acuna, Brett Beatty, or Ronnie Mauricio over him? I would rather have those kids than have him. But you cannot have a question mark again at third base going into the season. So that's why it's very important for them to sign him. But if he doesn't want to come, you got to move on. And that's why Bregman is sort of looming over this thing, because that would really put a lot of pressure on Pete. Because if the Mets sign Bregman over the next week or two, there's going to be an enormous amount of pressure on where Pete's going to go. He doesn't know where he'll go. He might go to the worst place possible for him as a player. And you don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. Yeah. But, again, let me know what you think about this. Hit the subscribe button before you go. I appreciate it. We have memberships. Send me a super thanks. I won't forget. Cosmo Carbone 5485. Cosmo. Send me a super thanks on the video I did on Scott Bregman, and I thank you, sir. Cosmo. His name is Cosmo. Seinfeld reference for you. And I want to thank you for coming by, and I'll see you later.